You know that feeling when you walk into your home, climb those stairs, and there it is. That empty spot. No light, and the lovely green of plants is glaringly missing. The dark spot that seems to suck the life out of the space. A constant reminder of what could have been an amazing space, missed potential. But what could possibly thrive in a place with no natural light? Today, I'm turning that forgotten dark spot at the top of the stairs into an inviting, alluring space filled with life and greenery. I'm building a terrarium from scratch, a self-contained world of lush greenery that will defy the darkness and breathe life into this empty space. Can my terrarium survive here without sunlight? Absolutely. I'll show you how I'm going to light up my terrarium and not only bring life to my plants, but light up this dingy dark spot. But this project isn't just about filling a void. It's about my desire to transform a neglected space into something beautiful and inspiring. I want to turn this dark spot into a symbol of transformation, a beacon of life that greets me every time I come home. This ball was given to me by a few girlfriends of mine on a birthday a long time ago, and it housed a terrarium. And of course, as most terrariums tend to go, it did not end well, and the contents of this terrarium, this bowl, are long gone. But I'm giving this ball a life again, and I am going to start making up my terrarium. So this is the very first time I'm making a terrarium, and of course, because I am the Leca Queen, I grow all my plants in semi-hydroponics. I'm going to be giving this terrarium a little bit of a spin. Maybe not so original, but there you go. I will actually be using a fluval stratum in this terrarium as my substrate. And I will just, I'll just get going with it, and I will tell you what I'm doing as I'm going and why I'm doing it. And let's just get building this thing already. For the base of my terrarium, I'm going to be using Leca clay balls. And the only reason I'm using Leca clay balls is because I use Leca for everything that I grow. I had to have Leca feature in this terrarium in some way, shape, or form. So that's how I'm having my Leca there. And I'm just having it sit as a base layer at the bottom of my terrarium. It's not doing anything functional at all. It's just in there just so I can have some Leca clay balls in my terrarium. So I'm just gonna push this way because it's a bit fiddly. I don't want to break my terrarium. This might go faster if I use a scoop. So I'll just scoop my Leca into my terrarium. And the thing I love about this Leca is this is my dark Italian Leca. I didn't want to use my red Leca because I want to have a lovely dark base at my terrarium. So I don't know, do I want to put some more? I don't know, I might want to put some more. I'll put some more. So just very carefully, ever so gently. Now that that's not so full, I can do that. Is that perhaps too much Leca? I'm not sure. I'll take some of it out because I think that's a bit too much, because that's not my substrate, remember? Yeah, I like that. The next step of this process involves the use of a fly screen net. So this is a little net that comes from, the fly screens that you have on your window. I got this from Bunnings and I cut it into a circular shape, and I'm going to put this on top of my Leca. And the reason I'm putting it on top of my Leca is because I'm going to put my stratum, my fluval stratum on top there, and I don't want that to mix in with the Leca. And I got a black one because the stratum's black. I'm really hoping that that's going to blend in quite nicely and not be so obvious. I don't know. I don't know. I think it will be quite obvious. It will. Once I put my stratum, maybe not. I'm probably overthinking this. I was thinking of taking it out and cutting it out a bit more, but I think I'll just leave it because I think it's fine. I don't want to overthink it. So next to go in my bowl is my fluval stratum. This is my stratum that's been washed and it's nice and clean. Stratum does tend to have a little bit of quite a fair bit actually, not a little bit. It's got a lot of dust. So I just gave it a wash so it's nice and clean. I'm going to put that in my terrarium. I'll grab my and just put that in. I'm sure there's easier ways of doing this. What you could do even is get a piece of paper, roll it and sort of slide it in there. That's one way you could do it. I'm sure there's like 6 million ways you could do this better that people are going to tell me about in the comments. And I would love to hear it because, you know, this is the first time I'm making a terrarium. So I have no idea what I'm doing. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I have spoken to a lot of people. I have even bought a book by the fantastic guy who makes these most amazing terrariums. You guys have no idea. I read that book, I watched his videos, and I think I'm prepared, but I don't know. I don't know. So yeah. This looks good. So because terrariums are so fiddly, it's really hard to get in there. I went and got myself a little terrarium kit of the things that you need to help you actually work on your terrarium a lot easier. And this is nothing fancy. I just got this from Amazon, nothing fancy, but it helps you, you know, it's got tools that help you do things like this. Because otherwise then it just really becomes a little bit difficult to actually manage to do things with that small opening. And on the best of days, I am not the most finesse person. So yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. That looks awesome. I love how that looks. Oh yeah, do you know what? I think that mesh worked really, really well. You can't see it at all. I'm so glad I didn't make the decision to pull it out and start cutting things. I think it worked really, really well. Okay, my stratum is in place and I am ready to get on with my plants. I'll put this away and we'll take a look at the plants that we're going to have in this terrarium. My plants have been living in this mini greenhouse. I collected them a few weeks ago now. And this greenhouse has been keeping them nice and humid. First up is this little peperomia plant. I love it, love it, love it so much. I think it'll do really, really well in this terrarium. And it's probably the only one that's very, very obviously light green. Ooh, next up is this begonia. This is my begonia bipinifetida. It looks beautiful. I absolutely love this begonia. I've been recently showing it on my social media and in my community tab, and a lot of people have commented on this plant because it is just beautiful. And no, it is not living in leca clay balls just yet, but it is going in the terrarium. Next up is another look at that gorgeous begonia. That is just beautiful. And then there's this beauty. This is my feature tree in the terrarium. She is going to look amazing, amazing. That is another begonia. So I decided that I wanted to have a begonia terrarium. That's really what I wanted. And I love these tree looking like begonias. They look just so fantastic and so amazing. I don't understand how a plant can look this beautiful, but yeah, that is also going in the terrarium. And this little beauty here is a Sarawak. That's a tiny, tiny plant, tiny cutting, looking a bit sus at the moment, but I think she'll be okay once she gets into the terrarium. And ooh, I don't even know what this one is called. I can't quite remember. And ooh, I don't know if this one's doing still. Oh, yes, it is. I think this is a begonia minuscule. I think something of the sort. This is bare rooted. Look at that. That is just beautiful. She looks gorgeous. That is also going in the terrarium. Right, the next step, I'm going to take these plants out of this mix that they're in and just being really, really gentle. I just want to have all those ready for when I start putting them up in my terrarium. So that actually comes out like that. Put that there. I'm not quite sure how fragile some of these are. that came off that. But that is the main plant over there. I'll just put that there. I'm not going to disturb it. Same thing with this one. Oh, this one is there's quite a fair bit there. So I don't want to put all that. So I want to take off some of those and I want to bury that in my stratum. You can see there my peperomia. Take that out as well. And you can see I'm not really, I will leave quite a fair bit. So taking out as much as I can without disturbing the root system of the plant too much. So I'm happy to leave that one as it is like that. This one really, look at that, such fragile roots, so fragile. And I'll just leave that. This is, if I was transitioning these plants from soil to leca using my normal methods, I would remove all the organic matter. I would remove all this mix and wash the plants off and make sure there's nothing there and put them in leca. But that's not what I'm doing today because I want to make sure that these plants survive. There's no need for me to do that. I will just put them as they are with that mix on and I'll just put them straight in my terrarium. Ideally, they say that you have the biggest plant at the back and then it's gradually going up. So the plants are coming up this way. I don't know what the rules are. I'm pretty much just going to make stuff up as I go along, see how the plants sit and just sort of use my judgment on how I think they should go. So I'm going to put my biggest one here. I think that's a good place for it. And my biggest one is my poly. This is my begonia poly. I'll put that one there. And oh shucks, this is not the funnest thing to do. Oh, it's so definitely not what I'm used to. Not what I'm used to at all. But that's good. That's good. So I'll put the other like tree like begonia here. That's my bipinifetida. And that's that one over there. So just taking off as, yeah, that's nice. I want this to be the face, the front. So I'll put that there. And sort of just cover that with my stratum. That grows there. That's going to look really good back there, I think. Now, I think I want to, what do I, I'll put some green. I think this Homalomina, I don't know how to say that name. It's so confusing. That one, I might put that one to the side actually. So I want to create a little bit of gradient. I think it will be good to show that that's the front and that's the back. So I'll get my little thingy and I'll just rescape some of this and push that to the back. So there's a little bit of gradient to the thing. You know what I mean? So it's a bit higher back here than it is at the front. And there's still more than enough substrate when I do that. All right, I got this one over here and I want to put this one in a furrow here at the front. So like so. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then I'll do this other one the minuscule, I'll do that one here. Whew, this is quite fiddly, I have to say, because it is, look at that. Look at the way that's positioned. It's really hard for me to, I'm literally just going to have to plonk it there and try and get that substrate on the plant. Whew. This is scary. This is so scary. I'd much rather be making a moss ball. I'm telling you that right now. That's so much easier than making a terrarium. This is really, really freaking me out. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. This is that tiny Sarawak that I talked about earlier. Not sure how that's going to go. I'll just put it here at the front and hope for the best. Right, I think I know where I want to put my peperomia. I think I want it here. Right here, where it's going to give that little pop of green. There's actually 2 plants now. So I can put my peperomia in 2 places. Yay, 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 yay. I'll put that there. Oh my goodness. You go there. Now I could probably shove the other one here. I have no idea what I'm doing. Absolutely no idea what I'm doing, honestly. I am so out of my depth with this. I am literally making stuff up as I go along, and I'm hoping that it's going to work out. I really, really am. I am shaking in my boots. I am not one for fine work. But there we go. At this point, I only have 1 plant left. I'll put that one here. Okay, that looks fabulous. I'll put this to one side for a sec, and we'll look at the next item that I have got here. This is my moss. Look at that. How beautiful is that moss? It looks really, really beautiful, and I think it's really going to bring my terrarium alive. It's just going to absolutely make it pop. This is my sheet moss that I got from Coda Moss. So if you're in Australia, Coda Moss is a great place to get moss, and I've had this moss for probably a few weeks now. I should have done this project a while ago, but it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm just, yeah, I'm gonna do, yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun because I'm just gonna have to sort of guesstimate and see how much moss I need for a specific area. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm just pulling off some of these like pine typey thingies, if there's lots of them. I don't really want too many of them. So yeah, that's all right. That's good. I like that. Put another piece over there. So you can't really get working with moss wrong. You know, it's this side, this way up. I do want to leave a bit of space between the moss and the plants. Just give the plants some room to breathe, so they're not being completely covered by the moss. But you know, you can also do that after the fact with your little pair of scissors. You can go in there and fix what needs to be fixed. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put moss in my terrarium. Right, this is where we're at now. I've got my moss in there and I'm really happy with the way that looks. I think that looks really, really beautiful. I am still shaking in my boots because I don't know, guys. I really don't know how this is going to go. I hope these plants love it in here because I don't want to have egg on my face, you know? I just want to see if I can keep a fabulous terrarium alive. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please consider supporting my channel by joining my membership. You can find this at thelekkerqueen.com. So this is where I got to with my terrarium 2 days ago. I got to a point where I thought I was happy with it and I needed to put my springtails in because the springtails are what are going to get rid of all the organic matter and all the decaying stuff that builds up in my terrarium. So I went to get my springtails and I found that I didn't have too many springtails, which was very disappointing. I think I only could see like 3 or 4 springtails, which I didn't think was hardly enough. So I needed to stop everything, go off to the store, get some more springtails and come back. So this is my little tub here where I have my little springtails and they're moving around in there. You can see they're busy little bees and they're going to keep my terrarium nice and clean. But while I was at the terrarium store, I tell you, it was just, my mind was blown. It was blown wide open and I now want to build more terrariums. But while I was there, I picked up something. I picked up this little wooden thingy hardscapey thing, and at the moment, my terrarium does not have any hardscape in it. And to be honest with you, looking at it again off camera, I'm not happy with the way some of the plants are placed and I want to put my hardscape thingy in there. So I'm pretty much going to rejig some of it, move some of those plants around and put my hardscape in there. I want to place my hardscape somewhere back here. So I'm just going to pull up that moss that isn't stuck there quite yet. And it's really easy to do because none of that stuff is stuck there yet because it's all just newly planted. So it's easy for me to do this right now. Now I want this to sit in that corner somewhere. So I'm going to have to move this plant here. Right. Goodo, 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 goodo. Now I might put this one back here and move this peperomia to here, I think. Okay, I like how this looks now. It's got a little bit more structure. It's got a little bit more texture to it. And I've moved those plants around a little bit. I like how that looks. Now we're going to put the springtails in. They're living on these pieces of charcoal or bark, I think. So what I'm going to do is simply pick up these pieces and drop the springtails in there. So just get that and just tap on the side so that those springtails fall into my terrarium. So I've got a few of them falling in there. So I just grab put them different places. And that's where these tongs really come in handy. Forceps, not tongs, they're forceps. So there's never a risk of putting too many springtails because the springtail population does even out as the terrarium settles down. So they'll kind of eat the ones they don't need, basically. But I think I'm happy with the number of springtails in my terrarium. That should do quite nicely. And now I'll get some plain water and just give that a little spritz. Just get those plants nice and moist. So not too much, just a little bit, because remember that stratum was moist. So once this terrarium settles down, it will be very, very moist in there. Right, and now I'll just give that a little bit of a clean with some tissue. Just clean that so that it's looking nice and pretty. I've got a nice cloth here that's made for cleaning glass, so I'm going to use that as well, just to make sure that my terrarium is nice and clean. I'll use that on the inside as well. So just want to give that a nice polish. So taking care that I'm not getting near the plants. I think that's as clean as I can get it. So another thing that I was able to pick up when I went to the terrarium store today was this little magnetic cleaner. It is beautiful because you just put it in your terrarium, the inside piece there and the outside piece like that, and it's magnetic and it sticks on, and you can use that to clean the terrarium. How awesome is that? The next thing I'm going to do with my terrarium is put my lid on. This is an acrylic piece that I got off a seller on Etsy. You give them the measurements of your bowl and they'll make you one. It's got these little holes in there just for a little bit of ventilation. But you can imagine once that terrarium is closed, once that lid is closed, there's going to be a lot of moisture in there, and those begonias are going to absolutely love it in there. Now let's take this terrarium to its forever home. This spot right here is where my terrarium is going to live. As you can see, it's actually quite dark in this space. There's very little natural light here. I've got a window, a frosted window on the other side. It's not even a window really, it's just purely decorative. This is the spot where it's going to live. And as I walk up the stairs, this is what's going to greet me. Let me show you how I'm going to light this baby up. This is the little USB light that I'm going to use to light up my terrarium. I got it from the terrarium store. I think they make them themselves. It's got this fantastic woody front. It's going to match really well with my buffet over here. And it's got little stands at the bottom, and that is the light fixture. And all I do is just plonk it on the top there. I'll put the cable at the back so it's not intrusive. I'll put it on top there, and I'll light up this baby. And that looks really, really good. And let there be light. That is my beautiful, beautiful terrarium. I'm really happy with how this has turned out, and it's really going to brighten up this spot. It's going to make my home beautiful.